Hello and welcome to Dad's Ad Job Podcast. This is your host, Adam Neverborough, and we are the original footballing podcast for dads by dads. Now, today is a bit of a special episode. I'm doing a pre-game sort of thoughts process on the Man Utd v West Ham United game week 36 Premier League outing. They're going to be kicking off at 2:15 today. If those that don't fancy listening to the commentary, you can go on to West Ham Network for their live game reactions. You can go to Hammers Chat for their live game reactions. And you can also go to West Ham Fan TV for their live in-game reactions. The watch-alongs are great. I'll be watching either of them and flipping and commenting on in between. But yeah, shout out to those three channels. They do an exceptional job. West Ham Network, Hammers Chat Forum, and West Ham Fan TV. But yeah, West Ham are playing today. It'll be an interesting game. We don't necessarily do well up against Man United away. And an interesting statistic come out today that Graham Potter has not lost a game at Old Trafford as a manager. But that doesn't, history doesn't really mean anything, does it? Because he didn't lose a game at the Emirates, and we beat the Emirates, beat Arsenal 1-0, but he also didn't lose a game at Anfield, which we lost. So history doesn't mean nothing at the moment for West Ham. It's all about today, and it's all about tomorrow. So the reported lineup, as per WHO employee, has just broken on his Patreon, is that there have been some last-minute changes. They believe the manager has named a team at the very last minute. These mean there is a strong chance that this team could be wrong. So please don't post on social media. Well, there you go. It's an unconfirmed reported team, but 9 times out of 10, X usually gets this right. So as per the West Ham way, the team could look like this: Ariola, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Vladimir Coufal, Todibo, Max Kilman, Aaron Cresswell, Guido Rodriguez, James Ward-Prowse, Thomas Souček, Mohamed Kudus, and Jared Bowen with the armband. And it looks like Paquetá, there's been a lot of reports that he probably would, that's his season finished now. What with his upcoming betting allegations, the FA are due to make their verdict next week or this week, if depending on whether you start the week on a Sunday. This week is that the verdicts will be coming out. So I think mentally it might have taken his toll, although professionals use football as a term of escapism from their everyday lives and troubles and tribulations. I think these remaining games could be 3 games too much for Paquetá, and we see the mental breakdown that he had on the pitch when he picked up his yellow card against Spurs, an outpour of emotion there, and being consoled by his fellow teammates in Jared Bowen and Max Kilman. Yes, I think mental health is always the priority in footballers. They've got to be, although physically they'll be able to compete, mentally it is also the same challenge. So I wish Paquetá the very best. We hope that the verdict that he's cleared and that he can continue to play for West Ham in the future. The FA might have just pushed him far too much on this, and he might end up going back to Brazil anyway. But I hope that if he is innocent, he stays at the club for one more season. The fans show their support for the player anyway, and we hope that we could see the very best of Paquetá, give him that season that he needs, and then we'll probably say our goodbyes then. I think he is pivotal to how Graham Potter needs to play in the future, because Paquetá ticks all the boxes for him. But he's not playing today, and I don't believe he's on the subs bench either. So all the best, Paquetá. We're with you. You're part of the West Ham family. You've etched yourself into West Ham folklore by giving that assist for Jared Bowen's 89th minute winner against Fiorentina in that Europa Conference League final. So, yeah, we move on from that at the moment. But yeah, that was the lineup. The formation seems a bit weird, especially with Soufal and Cresswell being released. Thank you, Paul. Thanks, Paul, for your comments. Much appreciated. Namesake, that is my cousin Paul. But yeah, I'm glad you like the show. No family ties attached. But yeah, we've got two players that are playing today after being announced that they are leaving the club after Soufal for 5 years of service and Aaron Cresswell for 11 years of service, and being one of only two players in the current squad to have played at Upton Park and the London Stadium. So he is a transitional. I think personally he is in the legend bracket of the modern day era. He's made the second most appearances in the Premier League, other than Mark Noble. And we posted a Aaron Cresswell appreciation thread on our Twitter account showing all the goals that he has scored for the club. And for someone of his ability, someone we got for £3.5 million from Ipswich Town all them years ago under Sam Allardyce, I think he is he's legend status for me. For me personally, I mean, a lot of people would say Julian Dix and other fellow left backs, but for me, I think Aaron Cresswell, he leapfrogs Julian Dix, in my opinion, purely because he managed to break a 43-year curse for West Ham in terms of bringing the silverware home back to East London. Aaron Cresswell, he's gone from zero to hero for me, but he plays today. Where he plays is the question, because the current predicted back five is Wan-Bissaka, Soufal, Todibo, Kilman and Cresswell. Now, Cresswell has been playing as a left-sided centre-half of a back three or a back five, whatever way you want to look at it. So it would be interesting to see how he fits, because there's no Emerson and there's no Scholes. So who's playing the left wing? I mean, there's Soufal. I think Cresswell's playing left centre half based on the previous experiences. So you have Max Kilman in the middle and Todibo operating as the right-sided centre half. That would be my prediction. So for me, that means that Aaron Wan-Bissaka moves from the right to the left, so that he'll be the left-sided wing back. So that leaves Vladimir Soufal. So Soufal, although with current comments that have been made in the media that he was due to join Fulham in January, he had a chat with Graham Potter and he doesn't fit his system in terms of playing as a right winger or a right-sided centre-half. So he doesn't fit either of those positions, but he has been a influential fullback for West Ham, providing many assists from his first season all the way up to last season. And again, a vital member of that Europa Conference League winning side. So it appears that he's playing as a right wing back. Now, this is the bit of conflicts I have. I think he's capable of it, but he's not comfortable playing in that position. So Soufal will be playing right wing back. So this leaves the midfield free as such. So I believe we're playing a 5-3-2 formation, or it could be a 3-4. 3-5-2 formation. We're playing wing backs. let's just nip that in the bud. We're playing wing backs. So the midfield three, I think this is very slow. I think this is worrying for me. You've got Guido Rodriguez, Ward-Prowse, and Thomas Souček. Now Thomas Souček, he'll run, but I don't think there's any pace in that. I'd say he's a marathon runner rather than a sprinter. So I think we're going to be very slow in that area. But Ward-Prowse, since his reintroduction to the first team after his loan at Nottingham Forest fell flat on its face, we have shored up the amount of goals we concede by having that sort of protection in front of the defence. So it is interesting for me that Ward-Prowse has come back and he has added a level of creativity. Some people will laugh at that, but I think he's coming in. I think he's done relatively well this second half of the season. But Rodriguez, it's a fringe. I'm not sure on him. Like I reported, I said that he is the modern day Nigel Quasi, and I'm going to stand by that, because I'm not saying he's a bad player. I just don't think he suits this league or this team. There's been reports last week that he could make a move to River Plate in June, just in time for him to play in the FIFA Club World Cup. So Rodriguez, for me, plays, but there's other options out there. I mean, we got nothing really to lose this game. I mean, you look at the recent form between West Ham and Man United, is that we're actually a point better off than Man United in the last 5 games. Man United have lost 3 and drawn twice, whereas we've lost twice and drawn 3 times. So we are a point better off. But there's 2 points to play at stake. I know there's nothing to really play for, but every Premier League place is £3.1 million prize money. So if we beat Man United today, we leapfrog them and jump into 15th, going a point ahead. So we were hitting the magic 40-point mark if we beat Man United today. I can't see it happening. I think this is an opportunity for Potter to be blooding your youth players now. With the youth system finished now after their defeat to Man United in the Premier League 2 Cup quarterfinals, I think there's an opportunity there to play Lewis Orford, give him the minutes, give him the experience. I've just been reported that Paquetá is on the bench, so this was kind of highlighted by ex-West Ham employee earlier this morning, that he could either be not in the squad or be on the bench. So again, I think maybe that he might be able to have some sort of cameo appearance, but I think it's right. I think you have to kind of give him that assurance that he, that if needed, he could play. But if we can try and avoid using him, I think that's probably for the best. But I think if you're playing Guido Rodriguez, who's looking to have a move out there, and if you're playing him, he's risking injury for a potential transfer in the summer or next month, then it makes absolute sense to play Lewis Orford over Guido Rodriguez. So I have no question as to why Rodriguez is playing. I don't think he offers that much. I think we're going to get outrun in the middle of the park. It's just sod's law. And the front two will be, or you have your striker and your number 10 or whatever. The forward two, either way you want to look at it, is Kudus and Bowen. So Bowen, in my opinion, I think will be the striker, and Kudus will play as the number 10. 2 players that are not really suited to either position, if I'm completely honest. I would have dropped Kudus personally. I think asset protection is key. Keep him fit, keep him in the back burner, and look to capitalise on a sale in the summer. But it's quite interesting because there's been many reports saying that his minimum fee release clause has been activated or been known to the world now, that it's £80 million for European clubs, 85 million for Premier League clubs, and 120 million for Saudi Arabian clubs. And in the press just a few days ago, he had an interview. That's my dog. He's come to say hello. Not a ghost. That he said he wants to achieve European football with West Ham United next season. Now that's strange. Now, if you're being touted to be sold, Bud's turn it in, mate. If you're being purported to be sold and your future lies elsewhere, then why would you make a comment about you staying at the club that you're looking to leave to achieve European football? Now, does Potter want to keep him now? Does Potter see a value in selling other people? I think, does Potter have this sort of position that he wants to retain in? All right, okay, so this is just been updated now, live, breaking news, that the reported formation for West Ham is a 4-2-3-1. So the 4-2-3-1 would consist of Aaron Cresswell left back, Max Kilman, Todibo as the centre halves, Soufal as the fullback. The two holding defensive midfielders would be Souček and Guido Rodriguez. Mohamed Kudus will be playing left wing with Ward-Prowse as the number 10 and Aaron Wan-Bissaka as the right-sided forward, which means that Jared Bowen starts up top on his own as a striker. Now, Jared Bowen is the highest performing rated player for West Ham this season so far, according to SofaScore, with a 7.17 rating. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who is touted to be the next West Ham Hammer of the Year, with a reported 7.11 rating. Based on this, it would appear that Bowen would have been hard done by not getting the Hammer of the Year award because he has outperformed Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But I think given the fact that Aaron Wan-Bissaka has come in the summer, he's adapted very well. He's had an instant impact on the right-hand side. I think the sort of the contextual element of him coming to West Ham and playing well outdoes Jared Bowen's stats, if that makes sense. I mean, West Ham kind of vote to their hearts rather than their heads, really. So, so that's interesting. So the bench consists of Lucas Fabianski, Mavropanos, Emerson Palmieri, Carlos Soler, Lucas Paquetá, Luis Guilherme, Edson Alvarez, who is reported to be injured with a back injury, but it looks like he's passed the late fitness test to appear on the bench, Nicholas Füllkrug, and Evan Ferguson. So we've got two regular strikers don't fit into our starting lineup, and we're playing an out of position player as a striker. If that doesn't define West Ham way, I don't know what does. So the Man United team has just been leaked as well. So their goalkeeper, they've opted to drop Onana for this game. So you got Bayindur, who they got from Turkey, and they're playing with three at the back. So they've got Luke Shaw as the left-sided centre-half, Lenny Euro as the centre-half, and Mazraoui, who we was linked with to activate Man United's selling Aaron Wan-Bissaka to us, plays as the right-sided centre-half. So there's a player there called Amas. I can't say I know who he is. Amas starts as the left winger. Ugarte and Kobe Mainoo start as the centre midfielders, with Amad Diallo as the right winger. So you've got two number 10s operating in Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes, with Rasmus Højlund up front as the lone striker. So when you're looking at the midfield there of the triangle between Ward-Prowse, Rodriguez and Souček, you've got obviously almost like a not a rectangle, but like almost two triangles in the fact of Ugarte, Mount, Fernandes and Mainoo. So I think we could get outplayed in the centre of the park. Bruno Fernandes, as stated by Rob and Callum on our podcast, that he is deserving of much better from Man United, and they're touting him to leave Man United to go to a club that's going to make him win a Premier League title. Who's going to buy Fernandes? I think Fernandes gets in any 11 in the other 19 Premier League teams, like 100%. I think he gets in any team in the top six. Where he would go though, that's the question. But I think he's captured at Man United. I think he's leading that team with he's native as a manager. He's got the spirit of Sporting in his blood with Ugarte and others that are due to come in as well. But I think Fernandes will probably be best placed to stay. In my opinion, I think he's best placed to stay at Man United, because if they beat Spurs in Europa League final, they get Champions League football, and they're a team that cannot be ignored. Because I think with their financial clout, commercial advantage, and obviously with the PSR rules coming into place soon, based on commercial revenue rather than financial fair play, I think Man United will be a team to be very, very worried about, with a very, very good young manager that we was linked with before. But as who knows what happened. I think Man United, if they win the Europa League, I think they're in for a good season next year. That's my opinion. But yeah, score predictions. Drop your score predictions in the comments box below. Please give this video a like and subscribe to our account. We're literally just surpassed 100 YouTube subscribers. For three dads from Housestead, Essex, to have no money, organically growing, spending our own time, missing out on our families, to get 100 subscribers, I think that's pretty good going for a small channel like us. The next target is to get to 250, and then the next target is to get to 500 after that. But we're growing slowly, we're growing surely. But yeah, we're getting there. So please give this a like. We love what we do. We really do. We love talking football. I love talking West Ham. Rob and Callum love talking Arsenal. Yeah, it'd be really great if we could get some more subscribers and likes, because it really boosts our algorithm. Yeah, I think if we could get some help, that'd be great. But my score predictions, I'm very, very negative on this one, if I'm completely honest. A 1-0 win would see us leapfrog Man United today. If we can shithouse that, I'll take that all day long. But in my opinion, I think we'll lose 3-0 today. I can't see us doing well. I think Man United now are riding the crest of a wave based off their Europa League form, and they've hit the form at the right time. So let's see what happens. Sod's law, it'll be a draw. But yeah, that's that. So yeah, that's my opinion. I think we'll lose 3-0 today. Sad times, really. There's not even any. I just looked at the bench again. There's not even any youth players on there. So protecting the youth for next season, maybe. I don't know. I'm not keen on this. I think Man United have got more youth players on their bench than what we have. Yeah, they're actually playing one more than. It's frustrating. They're supposed to be the Academy of Football, for crying out loud, and we haven't got any youth players. No graduates. Nothing in our team. Sick. I feel sick. Okay, so there's been a comment here from Paul to say, who is Aimco? So Aimco, there's been rumours about the potential West Ham takeover of acquiring David Gold's shares. There's been a lot of links to Bobby Kotick, or whatever his name is. He was the former CEO of Activision Blizzard, who are famous for producing the Call of Duty games. He managed to lead that company to surpass $1 billion for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which was the first time they ever surpassed that amount in releasing the game. So he's a leader of achieving great heights. He declared an interest loosely. I think it was in 2023. But there's a lot. I think this is just a journalism link. So basically, he's going to of sway towards that. But there was another rumor, obviously, that the potential investment isn't necessarily American. It's from North America. So this goes down to North America hosting the FIFA Club World Cup in the summer, which is hosted in America, but also the FIFA World Cup, which is next year. Yeah, it is next year. Next summer, is held in North America. It's a record-breaking, I think, 46-team tournament, hosted over 3 countries for the first time ever in the competition, and it's hosted by Mexico, United States of America, and Canada. Now, Aimco is a Canadian sovereign wealth fund, which stands for Alberta. I need to get my Google up on this, because this is important. This is very important. I don't need to get this wrong, because I'll look very stupid. Aimco. Right, so Aimco means. Hold on. This is live. Please don't say fuck or bugger. Aimco. No viewers. Thank you. So AIMCO means Alberta Investment Management Corporation. So they are a sovereign wealth fund based in Canada, and basically sovereign wealth funds, from my understanding, are groups such as the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, which own Newcastle United, which are the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, which are a investment fund which invest in Manchester City. You've got the Qatar QIA, which is the Qatari Investment Authority, which invest in teams like Paris Saint-Germain, who are also looking at a either ownership or a percentage share in a Premier League club, which was most reported to be Spurs, I believe, £1 billion for 25%. But yeah, that's what a sovereign wealth fund is. So a sovereign wealth fund is basically the government get all their taxes and they invest in these companies, the wealth funds, to get a return on it. So they'll go out and build their portfolios, they'll build their assets, they'll build boost their investment to ensure that they get the money back to reinvest in their economy. So that's what that is. So AIMCO is of the same ilk. They are so the highest grossing sovereign wealth fund is Norway. So Norway is the government pension fund global. So their assets is around $1.7 billion. That's that is ridiculous. To put that into context, the PIF, the people that own Newcastle, who are not richer than the owners of Man City, for clarification, they have a 929 million asset fund. So the Norwegian pension fund is almost double of what PIF is. So if people want to look at investment, go Norway, mate. Go Norway. It's because of all the natural oil of the North Sea brings into that sort of area. So that's why Norway is up there. But the Canadian Alberta Investment Management Corporation has assets of 123 billion. Sorry, PIF is 925 billion. AMCO is 123 billion. It's not, as I say, it's not massive amounts, but for a national wealth fund of that ilk to be in the top 20 in the world, to invest as a minority share in West Ham United would be interesting. There's also potential links there that because now we've got New Balance as an North American kit supplier now and a brand that also have links with Foot Locker in terms of them boosting their sort of brand share and merchandise. The Canadians also reaping the rewards of the FIFA World Cup by only hosting 2 stadiums, I believe, in that competition. But yeah, so AIMCO is a Canadian sovereign wealth fund, and they make profits of 1.6 billion a year. I mean, if they invested in West Ham, based off Daniel Kretinsky's investment of 125 million for 25%, you're probably looking around the same figure. If West Ham's value has increased since 2021, so when Kretinsky's invested, then you're probably looking at this North American investor, whether it's Cosic or AIMCO or whoever it is, you're looking at about £150 million investment into West Ham, taking over the Gold shares. I'm pretty sure there'll be some covenant in that acquisition to say that the Gold family have a seat at the table or retain a small share so that they have a say in the club, a minority stake as a legacy sort of input. But yeah, that's AIMCO. So that you can look on their website, you can see their sort of assets. I'll do a brief synopsis of it now, of AIMCO, as to what they own and what their portfolio is. Let's have a look. go on their website actually. Do apologise. Just looking at their portfolio. They invest in a lot of real estate, joint venture partnerships, high quality office, retail, industrial, and multi-unit residential properties in Canada, major cities. They also with investments in UK, Europe, US, and Mexico. If you do in pension, this is something I've clicked onto. If you've got like a pension fund where you have to invest in certain countries and economical climates, the two countries that have been touted to have economical growth in the future is India and Mexico. So if you want to pump a little bit into countries or to spread your pot, then those are the two countries I've been recommended to invest in, which is what I've done. Indian agricultural firms is going to be booming very, very soon. So they also have infrastructure investments, which is very on par to Daniel Kretinsky, really, because they do a lot of infrastructural, renewable resources and gas investment with his company. But yeah, that's quite interesting to see that link. So the infrastructure investments are also real assets that typically provide essential services that over long term generate stable inflation-linked cash flows. Infrastructure investments, energy power generation, transmission, distribution networks, and pipelines is exactly Daniel Kretinsky's street. So maybe there's a link there between AIMCO and Daniel Kretinsky's business acquisition. I think AIMCO is a consideration. I don't think, again, remains to be seen what actually occurs. If it ends up being Cosick, I don't think he's got a good reputation by online media. I can't judge that, but yeah, I think Cosick, his money is anyone's wealth is welcome to help elevate this club. I mean, there have been worse owners than what are out there at the moment to what we've been linked with. But AIMCO, how much are they worth? $123 billion. That's it from me. I'll do a conspiracy 2026 conspiracy video at some point. I've got a beam up on it. It's frustrating because there's a lot of things linking back to the summer of 2026. It goes down to the kit deal, goes down to sponsorship, goes down to London Stadium full control potential. It goes down to the type of manager that we'll have. It comes down to the new Premier League revenue that's going to be coming into play. So that's why I always think that it almost feels like West Ham are playing a waiting game for next summer. Whether that's true or not, I'll get my tinfoil hat on for that video and do a conspiracy theory on it. I've spoken about this with Russ Budden at West Ham Network. There's a lot of I's that need dotting and T's that need crossing, and that's confirmed. But obviously, one of the factors was the kit of New Balance doing West Ham's kit from 2026 falls well into the conspiracy that I instigated quite a while back. But it's funny to think that Claret and Booze, Nick from Claret and Booze said, I'm assuming that David Sullivan has a succession plan. It sounds laughable when you think of it, when you think of David Sullivan being the person that he is as a West Ham owner would not have a succession plan, but you don't become a billionaire without thinking about the next 5 years. So that's where I stand with it. But in all, that was the West Ham lineup. My predictions are 3-0 loss. I'm going to enjoy the game, not worry about it. If we lose, we lose. If we win, I'll be overjoyed with it because that means we go up to 15th place in the Premier League. And who would have thought we'd be that high in the Premier League after what has happened this season? Over and out. Go over to Hammers Chat. Go over to West Ham Network. Go over to West Ham Fan TV for their live watch-alongs. I highly recommend them. I'm going to be jumping on it in a bit. And Come on, you bloody Irons.